Alright, hit it, crank up those amps, kids, because we're about to dive headfirst into a decade of pure sonic mayhem. The 1990s. Grunge, alt-rock, rap rock, whatever you called it. The 90s was a freaking explosion of raw energy and killer riffs. From mosh pits to MTV, rock ruled the world, and these albums, these are the titans, the behemoths, the undisputed champions of the 90s rock scene. We're talking platinum records, stadium-shaking anthems, and enough angst to fuel 1,000 broken guitar strings. So buckle up, Buttercup, because we're counting down the top 10 highest-selling rock albums of the 90s. Let's dive right in. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the one and only Kid Rock with his breakout album, Devil Without a Cause. This bad boy shifted a staggering 14 million copies, blending rap, rock, and a whole lot of Detroit attitude. Bawit da ba da bang diggy diggy diggy. You know the words, you love the song. You probably even tried to grow a goatee like the man himself. This album was everywhere, blasting from car stereos and dorm rooms across the nation. But here's the kicker. Before he was the American badass, Kid Rock was just a kid with a dream, honing his skills in talent shows, rapping, DJing, breakdancing. The dude was a triple threat. Who knew that little showman would become a multi-platinum rock star? That's the magic of the 90s, baby. Sliding into number 9 is Matchbox 20 with their debut album, Yourself or Someone Like You. This record was a smooth operator, racking up 15 million sales worldwide. 3 AM Push. These songs were the soundtrack to countless late-night drives and heartbroken mixtapes. Rob Thomas's soulful vocals and introspective lyrics resonated with a generation, and let's be honest, the dude's got a voice that could melt glaciers. But did you know that this wasn't his only claim to fame? Rob went on to win 3 Grammys for his collaboration with Santana on the mega hit Smooth. Talk about a crossover king. At number 8, it's No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom, a ska punk masterpiece that sold a whopping 16 million copies. This album was a game changer, bringing Gwen Stefani's powerful vocals and the band's infectious energy to the masses. Don't Speak became an anthem for broken hearts everywhere. And let's be real, we all belted it out in the shower at least once. But here's the juicy bit. Gwen wrote that iconic song about her breakup with fellow band member Tony Kanal. Talk about turning heartbreak into gold. That's the raw emotion that fueled the 90s music scene. Cruising into number 7 is Hootie and the Blowfish with their monster hit album, Cracked Rear View. This record sold an unbelievable 16 million copies, cementing its place in 90s rock history. Hold My Hand, Let Her Cry. These songs were inescapable, dominating the airwaves and becoming the soundtrack to backyard barbecues and college parties across the nation. But here's a twist. Darius Rucker, the band's charismatic frontman, later traded in his rock roots for a surprising career in country music. And guess what? He killed it. Talk about a musical chameleon. Slamming into number 6 is Green Day's Dookie, the album that launched 1,000 punk rock dreams. This bad boy sold a mind-blowing 20 million copies, introducing the world to Billy Joe Armstrong's snotty vocals and the band's infectious energy. Basket Case, Longview, When I Come Around. These songs were the anthems of a generation, capturing the angst and rebellion of the 90s. But here's the crazy part. Dookie was recorded in just 3 weeks. Talk about punk rock efficiency. They went in, blew the roof off, and changed the music scene forever. Rising to number 5 is Creed's Human Clay, a post-grunge powerhouse that sold a massive 21 million copies. Scott Stapp's soaring vocals and the band's anthemic sound resonated with millions, making them one of the biggest rock acts of the late 90s. Higher, with Arms Wide Open. These songs were everywhere, filling arenas and dominating the airwaves. But here's a cool little detail. The album's iconic cover art featuring that faceless statue was designed by Scott Stapp's own father. Talk about a family affair. Coming in at number 4 is Santana's Supernatural, a Latin rock masterpiece that sold an astounding 30 million copies. This album was a cultural phenomenon, blending Carlos Santana's legendary guitar skills with a star-studded lineup of collaborators. Smooth, featuring Rob Thomas, became one of the biggest hits of all time, and the album as a whole revitalized Santana's career and introduced him to a new generation of fans. But here's the inspiring part. Carlos was 52 years old when Supernatural was released, proving that age is just a number when it comes to rocking out. Exploding into number 3 is Nirvana's Nevermind, the album that changed everything. This grunge masterpiece sold a staggering 30 million copies, launching Kurt Cobain, Chris Novoselic, and Dave Grohl into superstardom and ushering in a new era of rock music. Smells Like Teen Spirit became an anthem for a generation, capturing the angst and alienation of the 90s. But here's a fun fact. The baby on the album cover is Spencer Elden, who was just 4 months old when the photo was taken. He became an unwitting icon of the grunge era. Crashing into number 2 is Metallica's self-titled album, better known as the Black Album. This metal monolith sold over 31 million copies, solidifying Metallica's status as one of the biggest bands in the world. Enter Sandman, Nothing Else Matters, Sad But True. These songs became instant classics, blending heavy riffs with melodic hooks. But here's the thing. The Black Album was a departure from Metallica's thrash metal roots, drawing mixed reactions from their hardcore fans. Some loved the more accessible sound, while others felt they had sold out. But regardless of your opinion, there's no denying the impact of this album on the rock landscape at the time. And finally, claiming the number 1 spot is Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill, the album that defined a generation. This emotional roller coaster sold an unbelievable 33 million copies, making Alanis a global superstar and giving voice to the frustrations and anxieties of a generation. You ought to know, ironic, Hand in My Pocket. These songs were everywhere, blasting from car stereos and dorm rooms across the world. But here's the mind-blowing part. Alanis was just 21 years old when Jagged Little Pill was released, making her one of the youngest solo artists to achieve such massive success. She tapped into something raw and real, and the world responded in a big way. So there you have it, folks, the top 10 highest-selling rock albums of the 90s. From grunge to post-grunge, rap rock to metal, these albums shaped a generation and left an indelible mark on music history. These weren't just albums, they were anthems, soundtracks to our lives, expressions of our hopes, fears and dreams. Which one rocked your world the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more rocking content. Keep the music alive.